Hey, Rich,
Hey, Michael.
and welcome everybody to BitPunch Radio episode 043. Rich, hope you're doing well. I am tarnished.
You're
I
charged.
am I am ready to roll. I just got back from a 2-day trip to an indoor water park, an
Oh,
old
you are very tarnished.
an old French lick. Uh,
Now, is that in French Lick or is that in West Baden?
Pretty sure it was in French lick.
Because
Like
the
it's
casino is like part of West Baden.
I didn't see a casino.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I did
Weird.
not see it.
You've never
No.
been to that casino?
I've never been to that casino. So I've been to the boat. You've
How did
heard
you
of
go to French? How did you go to French Lick, which is extremely small, and
Sure.
not see the casino and the hotel?
We literally went to the hotel. We went and played laser tag and golf. Or not golf, but it's like a laser tag golf course there at the front of it. There's a
Hmm.
Mexican restaurant that we hit on the way
Oh,
home,
perfect.
and that
Yep.
was it. So Mexican today,
Great.
just I I can't stop myself at a Mexican restaurant. There's just it's 0 or 100 there. It's
Yep.
all the chips, all the queso, all the beans, all the rice. Just give it all to me. Just shovel it all
Yep.
in. I don't care.
The perfect American weekend.
It was great. I will say, it felt like I went back in time to 2019.
Yeah.
There was nary a mask in there.
Yep.
I
Nope.
think I
Yep.
seen 5 people the whole trip. And it may have
Yep.
been the same family I seen twice.
Yep. My daycare, the teachers just stopped wearing masks
Yeah.
like a week ago, and I was like, "Oh,
Like
okay.
are we there?
Are we here now? Are
Is
we all here together?"
this
Like,
really happening? Like
yeah,
it was something. And it was packed cuz like
yeah,
spring break is like hopping, and we
yeah,
didn't plan like a big family trip. We just wanted to do like some smaller stuff. So did that and had a good time. My eyeballs, I'm still trying to get all the chlorine out of them, but
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
all that chlorine in the air kills about anything that would be virus
Oh,
related
oh, for
anyway.
sure.
So yeah, that
Yeah,
shit's
yeah,
it's got me famished.
yeah, yeah.
Um yeah, so it's been a banger so far. Yeah, I took a couple days off, going back to work tomorrow for one day. Um
Nice.
you know, in terms of like what I've been up to, Rich, nothing can pull me away. I keep gravitating back to
The
Elden
land,
Ring.
you're just stuck in the lands between,
I
huh?
just can't. So I have the backbone controller, right? Really like this
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
controller. It
yeah.
lacks rumble, but I don't think that that's a big problem. So I was like, okay, Tunic seems really great. So I downloaded it. I played it on the backbone controller for about an hour and a half. Played it on my computer for about an hour. I'm lost in that game. It is,
Tunic, really? Okay.
yeah. So it is a Zelda style game, but it's got like a uh Link's Awakening art style, but it's
Okay.
like the look of like a like Captain Toad treasure tracker, where it's like things are kind of like stacked on top of each other or whatever. And in this game, like in Captain Toad, I think you're rotating the camera and stuff, and this one's not. If you pull the right trigger, it does like a lock on mechanic, but
Okay.
it'll take your camera and just slightly move it up. And it's just like
Mm,
it just is enough that it's like you can kind of see a little bit more.
mm-hmm.
What this game wants you to do though is basically just hack at everything and hug the corners. Like just
Ah, okay.
run towards the edge of the map and just hold it and just kind of like any kind of tree or any sort of cliffside, there's always going to be some way that you can get back into these other areas. Um, you start with a stick, and I have found the sword. I've heard people have fought the first boss with using the stick because they just never came across the sword. Um, I've heard people compare it to Fez in terms of like
Oh,
story
weird.
and just how weird it is. You know, I haven't
Okay.
got that yet, but there's a lot of death's doors in it where, um, where you get the hook shot in death's door, and you're like, oh, that's the thing that I can latch onto. Now I can go back to these other areas and use
Right.
this hook shot. Tunic seems like it has something like that, but I'm just completely lost in this game. Um, its combat is pretty challenging. It actually is kind of like a Souls like. Um, you have a stamina meter that you have to watch out for. You have health. I'm pretty sure you get magic at some point. I'm very early in the game, but I'm just like doing the thing where I'm getting lost and not really sure where I'm going. Um, you're collecting these instruction manual pages, and it looks like
Mm,
an old school like Nintendo or Super Nintendo like instruction manual. You know how it had like a lot of detailed art, and it kind of taught you how to play the game and stuff. That's what this one is doing,
okay.
but it's teaching you like these core mechanics that this game doesn't teach you. Like you just kind of drop in and you go, you know.
Mm,
And in this game, it's like, okay, when you roll, you're actually invulnerable. Like during the
right.
time that you're rolling, only to a certain point, and the instruction manual is telling you like look for the cloud of the little puff of smoke. But once you're like halfway done with your roll, the rest of your roll, if you get hit, you get hit. You will take damage. So there's a lot to kind of remember there. The problem I'm running into is that the control scheme does not match up with Elden Ring, and it's fucking me up because
Yeah.
going back and forth between those two games, it's like, okay, I like Elden Ring a lot more. Tunic, you're just gonna have to sit aside for now because you're very similar in terms of how you play, but the buttons do different things. And so, as soon as I took a break from Elden Ring, put a couple of hours into Tunic, I went back and was just messing everything up. I'm like, nope, I cannot do this. This is just going to have to wait. Um, seems really good. It's on Game Pass. Everyone seems to be it's reviewing really high.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to play it. I really like Death's Door. So far, the combat in Death's Door is better.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
but I think what it might lack in that area is the whole like exploration aspect, which Death's Door had a really good explanation or exploration aspect to it as well. They're very
Right.
similar, but they seem to be different enough to warrant to want to play it. Plus, it's on Game
Hmm.
Pass, so you should give it a shot.
Yeah, I
Um,
downloaded it. Haven't played it yet. But yeah, I was interested to hear your opinions because I'm very fond of Death's Door.
mm-hmm.
So yeah, and yeah, Tunic's been around. I think it got announced in like 2017. It was like at an E3.
Yeah, I've heard it was
I
like a
remember.
7 years or something development.
Yeah, it's like one of those things that was like, is that ever coming out?
Yeah.
Because that was forever ago. So it's good to see it come out.
Yeah. And it seems really solid. And I like that,
Yeah.
it's getting a lot of buzz. It's very heavy in terms of releases right now. I mean, we're recording this on the 24th. Tomorrow has huge games with Tiny Tina, which I'm kind of excited about actually. There's something about it that makes me want to give it a shot.
You're falling into a trap, man.
Maybe, but that and Kirby, which I'm pretty sure we're going to end up getting. And then what's the Ghostwire Tokyo also comes out
Hmm.
tomorrow or today when we are actually launching this podcast. So yeah, I Tunic's going on the shelf for now, but
Okay.
because man, I'm still just nonstop thinking about Elden Ring. Uh, I did end up farming some.
Okay.
I'm pretty high level.
Did you farm the chicken?
Uh, I did a little bit, but
Okay.
honestly, I have like this ice axe that's got this like frozen stomp that kind of fans out,
Oh,
and
okay.
all the things that are by that chicken give you like 2,000 runes a piece, and there's
Oh
like
boy.
20 of them or something. So I just go over there and just bust ass and like wipe them all out, and you have enough runes to gain like a level and a half. Um,
Okay.
so I took a step back from this game because I went up to the castle by the big tree. So you will go through the swamp area and you end up kind of getting into this another big open area where if you veer off to the north, it goes to like this fiery like volcano style level,
Okay.
which I've kind
Okay.
of been up there already and explored some, but I'll have to go back there. Um, but if you veer off like to the east, there's another huge castle, huge castle.
Mm,
I started going through there, and I was like, you know, kind of want to do what Rich is doing a little bit. I want to go back and see if I've missed any like actual quests.
right.
So I pulled up the wiki, realized that I have. Uh, Rich, the area that me and you stumbled into on your first stream where you went underground, I
Yeah.
never found
Okay.
that area
Okay.
in my
Yeah.
playthrough. So I was like, man, he seemed really early. How did I miss that? And it's just up on a hill, but if you're just never near that hill,
Right.
you can miss out on that whole underground area. So I went through there. There's a big boss down there that you end up fighting. Um and just started going through, went through the swamp area, cleared that all out. The Manor place there at the top of the hill, at the top of the swamp area.
The
To the
academy.
No, the academy's done.
Okay. Okay.
Carla Manor or something like that. I can't remember what it's called exactly, but it was. There's a couple dragons over there that are hard as fuck.
Yeah.
Um, and then I went to Khalid, and I've
Ah.
been
Okay.
and I've been clearing out Khalid. Khalid, I've got that done to a point to where I fought Radon twice today and beat him.
Oh, that crazy meteor motherfucker.
Yes.
I keep seeing on TikTok. Yeah.
The first time I fought, no, hold on, take that back. I fought him like 9 times and couldn't even get up to him because he starts to fight. A little bit of spoiler here. He starts to fight with those magic arrows, and as soon as you take 2 of them, you're dead.
Okay.
What I didn't realize is because this is getting a little spoilery.
It's fine. I don't
Okay,
care.
okay.
Yeah. No. I. Yeah. I'll take all the help I can get.
So you're doing the right thing because you're going through and talking to all these people. When you meet these people that you're fighting in the or that you're finding in the world, you actually get the ability to summon them in this Radon fight. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
so it's this whole big. They have this whole spectacle at the beginning of the Radon fight, where you're going back and you're talking to all these people that you've met, and it's just like there's this whole announcer and he's like Radon the Glorious, blah blah blah, like making this big show about it, and then you start the battle. But when you do, there's all those little summon things around,
Mm-hmm.
and what you're supposed to do is there's little debris, like the debris is just high enough to hide behind those magic arrows. So you're
Ah.
hiding,
Okay.
and then you're like picking off all the summons. You're going to the next area, doing all the summon pools. Go to the next
Okay.
area. So then you end up having like 6 or 7 people fighting with you, and you're on a horse. You can ride Torrent during the fight, and so it's just like, okay, this isn't too bad. I'm very high level though, probably way more than I should be for this fight.
Right.
Um, so about 7 tries into it, I finally make it up to him. He kicks my ass, dude.
Mm-hmm.
He fucking annihilates me. I mean, he does this attack that if you don't dodge it, you get hit like 7 times. And he's just twirling like a fucking ballerina. And there's
Yeah.
nothing you I could roll 1,000 times. You're not dodging that shit. Again, it's one
Yeah.
of those things that I should have learned from my first boss fight. You got to roll towards them because you keep. It's just it works here. So then today take a break, go on vacation, come back. All right,
Yep.
I sit down, and just like Mario, I beat him on the first try, but I died along with him.
Oh no.
As he hit me, one
Yeah.
of my other characters hit him, and so I see his body fall, but then the "you're dead" comes up.
Yeah.
And so, like, my kids are up here with me, so if they weren't, I'd be like, But anyway,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
so I was just wondering, like, how do they handle this? Did they count it?
Right.
And they didn't.
Nope, of
So
course
then I
not.
go back into the fight, but I kind of knew that if you summon all those people, they can wreck you, man. Like you
Yeah.
could almost, if you do all the quests right, you could almost sit back and watch them fight him.
Huh.
And you just really have to dodge. And apparently, if they die, you can resummon them.
Hmm.
Because I
Okay.
was kind of looking up like after the fact of like you see like he's very big on TikTok right now, like this fucker is,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
like you said. And so I looked up and I seen that was one of the strategies where somebody was like, if they die, you can actually resummon them again, and then they'll keep
Right.
fighting. But
Yeah, I've seen like of not those summons, but like the mimic, finding the mimic summon is a pretty big like
mimic
the
summon.
wolves. There's a mimic summon that's like the wolf, like the one you can do with the bell.
Oh, right.
Where it summons like a mimic of you, and it does the same damage as you do, and you can like level it
What?
up. Yeah, 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 yeah. I saw
Oh
a
no, I
TikTok of
haven't seen
that.
that one yet. I
Yeah,
wonder how you get that
yeah.
one.
I'm not sure. I'm not
Uh,
sure. Yeah, yeah,
so yeah, Radon is done, and that was cool. Cool little after scene of that. Um, so yeah, I think I'm just gonna keep going up. Like I've kind of cleared everything down south, so I'm ready to start going back up again. It just
yeah.
it's hard, man. It's really hard, and I keep running into walls in this castle where there's a little too long of a gap to the next start, and
Yep.
it's just you get 4 or 5 minutes into it and you die, and then you got to run that whole thing again, which you start to learn in this game where it's like I can skip a lot of this, or
Right.
this
Right.
door is open and I can sneak past them, it's you're organically learning that stuff, which is neat. Um, but it's still just really, really challenging.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
all that said, though, I'm about 45 hours into it, and I'm just loving it.
Yeah.
Man, it's the only thing I really want to play right now, even with everything out. I am just like I still just want to keep playing this game. Still playing Stardew Valley. Still loving that game. I'm actually so it takes a long time for Stardew Valley because I played it when it was like 1.0,
Mm-hmm.
and they had just that core area. Well,
Yep.
now like with 1.5, he's added on these areas, and we're in one now, which is really cool. So we're at this island called Ginger Island, and you get there because you help fix up Willie, who is the fisherman. You end up
Yeah.
helping him fix his boat up, and then he boats you to this other island. And there's this whole cool little cutscene where
Oh no shit.
it kind of pans back, and you see the whole island, and then you see the boat, and there's like actually a bunch of other islands, and it's like, well, fuck, does he have plans to like open these other islands up, or what's going
Oh
on?
man.
I don't know if
Always.
that's like is the haunted chocolatier like one of these islands?
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool.
There's always a lighthouse.
Right. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, is what's his name? Just Henry? Was that his name? He just watching me?
Uh,
Harry,
no.
Henry, what is his name?
Uh,
It's actually the actual actor is his name. I can't think of the Anyway,
I can't remember either.
but yeah, so there's like a volcano and shit you're going through, and it's got its own cave that you're going through. It's cool. Like I'm really still liking this game. So we finished Miss Maisel, and we are rewatching Barry, which is it's a fantastic show on HBO. It's about He's a guy that's a hitman, but he he somehow gets into like not acting, but it's when you're shit, what's it called? Like improv.
Yeah, yeah,
Like he
yeah.
finds an improv group, gets into improv acting. But then he's like, well, this is my calling. I don't want to be a hitman anymore. But he still has to, he still has to be a hitman. But it's funny. It's a really good show. And the third season is about to come out, so we are rewatching that as we are continuing to play Stardew Valley, which is just a great time overall. Um, that is about it for me, Rich. I'm listening to the Bob Odenkirk documentary. It's called comedy drama. If you know who Bob Odenkirk is, he
Okay,
is
yeah,
the
the Better Call Saul guy.
yes.
Okay,
So do you know who Tim and Eric is?
I know of it.
Okay, so they're the Adult Swim. You've probably seen.
Yep.
They did the weird Tom Goes to the Mayor and Tim and Eric's Awesome Show, Great Job, and they've got the $1 billion movie and Tim Heidecker. They all act like they'll act separate, but they're kind of like a comedy duo.
Yeah.
I used to watch Tom Goes to the Mayor and Awesome Show, Great Job, which is like a 11 to 12 minute like sketch comedy show. And Bob Odenkirk was on there from time to time doing like the Cinco commercials or doing like he's the one that says great job. So if you ever watch that show, like they'll put in the word great job over something hideous or horrendous happens on the show. But anyway,
Right.
so I've been a big fan of Bob Odenkirk for a while. He plays a lawyer a lot, and he's just got a very dry sense of humor. Mr. Show with Bob and Dave was a big show on HBO for 4 seasons. And he's just done a lot of little things. And I like him quite a bit. I think he was great on Breaking Bad as Saul Goodman. And then on Better Call Saul. We kind of fell off that show, honestly. But I still really like him as an actor. And I thought that book would be really good, and it was. So I've been getting into more of listening to like documentary styles. Like I just read the Dave Grohl book, and I really liked it.
Like biographies. Yeah.
Yeah, so I have Audible now, and I'm listening to Bob Odenkirk's book. I then see Bryan Cranston's book, which he wrote, I guess, just a couple years ago. So he was already done with Breaking Bad, but I was never a Malcolm in the Middle fan.
Me neither. Yeah.
But I know he was like, that's what he's probably. Well, he's more known for Walter White, but there for a while he was just known as the comedy dad on that TV show. But now it's like, okay, I want to kind of listen to that. I can listen to books. I can, but I prefer to read a book. But for something like that, read by the person that wrote it, that is really interesting to me. And I think that's what I really enjoy listening to. Like John Scalzi has a book that just came out, and it's narrated by Will Wheaton, and I want to listen to it. It's about COVID-19, but I don't know. I just keep wanting to read documentary style or autobiography, style Audible books on there. But
Yeah.
it's really good.
No, I love Audible. Yeah.
Yeah.
I tend to do like probably somewhere around 50-50, 60-40 read and listen. A lot of times like on a
So
new
you'll buy the
series.
Kindle book and buy and like grab the audio credit. Is there a
on
discount
Kindle,
between them?
Yeah, on Kindle, yeah. When you buy a Kindle book, it's like, hey, you want the Audible for like $5, $6, like a
Oh.
little off or whatever, and it's like, yeah, sure, give me that. So it does kind of make it it ends up being like, depending on what the Kindle book is, how old it is or how new it is, it ends up being like $20 or 20.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's not bad for a book. I mean, since
Right.
you're getting 2 versions. But yeah, I tend to kind of do that. And with like a new book or like a new universe, I feel like it helps me to listen to it first.
Mm-hmm.
I'll usually start listening to it so I can kind of get an idea of like what how the characters are, and like what their mannerisms are. And
Almost like
how
if
the
they give them a
narrator
little
is.
bit of personality through
You
the
give them
narrative.
a little personality.
Yeah.
Yeah. get a little personality through the narrator,
Right.
and not all narrators are created equal for sure.
Hmm.
Uh, but I feel like that kind of sets in my mind, oh, that's who this person is. It's not, especially if I'm reading like a new universe, like I'm
Hmm.
sitting down and reading Batman or something, or
Right.
whatever. Then it's like, okay, I have like a idea of what this is supposed to be like. So yeah, I listen to Audible quite a bit, honestly.
So I like it because reading a lot of science fiction and fantasy, like there's some really just bizarre ass names,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and it helps with that,
Yeah.
Like even reading Harry Potter, how did you
Yep.
pronounce Hermione in your head,
Yeah, I think I've started reading those books after the movie.
Oh, so
So
you already knew.
yeah, but like when I read that Shadow of the Gods book a month or so ago, it has a bunch of like Viking language in it, like
Right.
O's with lines through it,
Oh
and
yeah.
like all this crazy shit. And it's like I'd started listening to it first, and like listening to all these like pronunciations of all these, I guess Viking words or whatever, or uh, probably like Norwegian words or whatever they are. And then when I started reading it, I was like, "Holy shit, that's how that's spelled. That doesn't make any
Right.
sense."
Right, yeah.
Like I would have never thought that that's how that was supposed to be pronounced.
And I think it was the book that we got really into. I'm blanking on, not Artemis, not Martian.
Project Hail Mary.
Yeah, I think it was Hail Mary that was like,
Hail Mary, yeah.
man, listening to the audiobook of that and like the production value that they put into like the music language and stuff, just like fuck. It
Yep.
was such a better experience listening to that book. So
Yep.
I like that idea though. I think that how did you like the narrative? Because Shadow of the Gods is what I am going to read next. I wanted to read Cytonic. I think it's Cytonic next, but I think I'm going to wait. I want to read Shadow of the Gods first, and then I'll get back to Cytonic. How did you like the narrator of that?
He's very good.
Okay.
He's got a style, but I think his style fits that book really well,
Oh,
and
okay.
I did really like him.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's worth it. Yeah, like you said, if it adds up to like $20 a book, then take it. That's
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Like there's no way, like I've said before on here, like there's no way I'm getting through a book without listening to it while I'm doing the dishes, or
Hmm.
listening to it in the car, or listening, it's just not going to happen. Take
I
forever.
I mowed my grass
Yep.
and
Yep.
listened to some of that Bob Odenkirk book, and it's like,
Yep.
okay, all right, yeah, this is
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. Yep.
Um, all right, I think that's enough for me. What have you been up to besides working?
Oh man, a lot of work. Yeah, I've not played any video games in 2 weeks. Zero. I have not sat down at this computer and launched a video game in 2 weeks. Um,
Ouch.
I think I'm. I think it's probably for the best. I'd kind of came out of like COVID quarantine over the holidays, and then
Mm-hmm.
went right into like just fucking just playing shit nonstop, man.
Yeah.
We beat Resident Evil.
Oh,
We
yeah.
like in that time, and right into Elden Ring. I probably put like 20
Inscription.
hours in Elden Ring. Inscription. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so I think I was ready for a little break, and then I was super busy between just home life and work. Just did not want to come down here, and I just didn't want to play games. So
Right.
I've been reading a lot. Um, I finished 4 books in the last 2 weeks, or no, 3 books in the last 2 weeks. I finished Starsight, which is book 2
Mm-hmm.
of the Skyward series, and then decided, well, I'm waiting on Hunger of the Gods to come out. That's the second book after Shadow of the Gods that we just talked about, from John Gwynne. That's the second book in the Bloodsworn series that comes out in April sometime.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember the day. So I was like, all right, I got like 3 or 4 weeks until that comes out. There's these two novellas that are in between Starsight and Cytonic, so books 2 and 3 of that Skyward series. Let me just read those because they're like 200 pages each. So I picked up Sunreach and Redawn,
Mm-hmm.
finished both of those. Both of those are from different character perspectives. Kind of, they are in between books 2 and 3. and I really liked both of those.
Mm-hmm.
I I wasn't I was a little weird about like it being from a different perspective, especially when I figured out like which perspectives it was from. Um, but man, I feel like it would be really weird to not read those. There's a
Right.
lot that happens in those books for
Yeah.
them being so short. Um, and man, I just really love that universe.
Yeah.
That guy, that guy,
He's got a really
that
cool series there. Like,
he has got an imagination. Like
mm-hmm.
just just the way that that Skyward universe is built and like all the things he's adding to it and
How do they?
uh
So, what's the fast travel system like in this? I don't know. Fucking slugs. Who
slugs,
cares?
man. They put slugs in boxes and yeah, I
They
mean,
just hyper
and
jump to each other.
it's funny because that's the slug is introduced in the first book, like
Mm-hmm.
not very far through, and you don't really know what it is. And you have some allusions to what's going on, but you're like, holy shit, this is what everybody's using to get around.
Yep.
And like, oh, there's this whole like intergalactic space government that's like oppressing people over being able to like move around the universe. Like that's plausible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Right.
that makes sense. All right, yeah, that checks out. So yeah, I mean, I think he's got a really good little universe there, and he's kind of building on it. Not to give him all the credit, I think Jancy Peterson helped write those two
Mm-hmm.
novellas. I really liked both of those books.
Yep.
I Read On was really good. Um, and they can he kind of man, he just really develops. He really developed in those two books a lot of those side characters like Jorgen and FM and Rig and
Mm-hmm.
what's the alien girl's name? I'm forgetting now. Um,
Uh,
Alanique, yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
Alanique
Yeah.
really developed her and like her whole situation. And just like the way that the Skyward flight like uses those slugs to like
Mm-hmm.
go back and forth. I was like, oh,
It's cute.
that's kind of fucking cool, man. That's kind
Yeah.
of fucking cool, And I'm like, and it's got me kind of excited because my my oldest daughter is gonna be 7, and like I kind of can't wait until she's like old enough to like read these, and I'm
Right.
hoping that she'll like want to read them because
Mm-hmm.
they're young adult books, like they're not
Sure. Yeah.
they're 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 pretty simple in their themes and kind of the story, right? It's not like an Inception or some kind of
No.
crazy mind-bending thriller type of thing. It's
I mean, think of
pretty
like the
simple
first
stuff.
couple Harry Potter books. It's
Yeah,
kind of
I mean,
that
yeah, yeah,
style of tone of,
correct.
there's a
Yes,
little bit
yes.
of like murder and stuff, but they're not like talking about in
Yeah,
gory detail or anything like
right.
that. Like stuff happens, but
Correct. Yeah, and
they
and
keep
I'm
it light.
I really like that series. I think it's a good. I think if it didn't have such good world building and such good characters, I probably would have fell off of it by now.
Mm.
But I like it. I like it quite a bit. I actually started Cytonic today. I'm gonna try to get through Cytonic
See, I
before.
I really because I miss Spencer, so I really want to get back to Cytonic, but I think you keep talking about the God's book, whatever it's called. I'm just like, I need to read that too because
You
it's
should
on
read
my
that.
list. But
Yeah, you should read that. Yeah, you should reach out to the gods because
shout
I
out the gods, yeah.
yeah, because that next book comes out here in a couple weeks, I think. Yeah, so I mean, I've been reading a lot. I've been enjoying that. It's been kind of a good break from video games and everything else. That Halo TV show came out today.
Yeah, fuck. I
Uh,
watched that. I
I,
forgot.
I sn- I snuck that in.
Okay. All right.
I snuck that in while the kids were watching Onward. So
Full
I
spoilers. You want to talk about it?
yeah, let's fucking talk about it.
All right. Full spoilers for I just spit. Full spoilers for Halo, episode 1. That's on Paramount Plus. I sat down with my son, who is 7, to watch this.
Dude, you texted me and you're like, "Fuck it, we're watching Halo," and I'm like, "Ah, shit! Now I'm gonna have to watch this before the podcast tonight." And this is at like 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
We record this at night. And so like I sit down at like 7:30 and I'm laying on my, living room rug next to my 3-year-old, and I've got my phone. I'm just holding my phone up, got some headphones in, and right off the bat, just dismemberment. And I'm just like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no, Max is I wonder how far they got into this, because this is rough.
We made it, man. But I was like, this is not a good dad moment right here. I'm not that, because he has the remote. Because I was like, upstairs, I fought Radon, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I only played for like 20 minutes. So I was like, that's the high. I'm not gonna do anything better than that on Elden Ring. And he was like, can we watch Halo? I said, go queue it up. I'll go downstairs. So he had the remote, turns it on. They get ready, and it just fucking goes nuts.
Nuts.
Body parts are flying off. And I just turned to Max, and Max is already just staring at me. So we have this moment with each other where we're like, this is fucked up. How do you feel? I said, Max, is this too much? And he was like, well, I was like, so by the time that we had this like mental discussion with each other, it was over. It lasts like 30 seconds.
Then it's just like aliens getting dismembered.
Then I was just like, are you okay? It's like that. I don't know what's going to happen. I looked at the fucking ratings and it said 14, which is Marvel ratings as well.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, maybe that was it. Are you okay? Are we going to have nightmares? Are we going to have a conversation? Are you going to go to school finger gunning everyone? And he's like, I'm okay. It's like, was that too much? No. Well, let's pretend that shit didn't happen. Let's go on. So then they like fortify their little fortress there, and the fucking brutes come in.
Nope. Elites.
Or the elites, yeah. And then it fucking just starts. It starts again, and I'm like, I mean, you see the elite's head just explode.
Yep.
And I was like,
40 children got murdered with a plasma rifle.
Oh, right. Well, at least they had the decency to turn away for that one.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, Max, is this too much? And he's like, no. Like no. I'm into it. But then when it started getting story heavy, he lost interest, which was fine. But oh boy, it's probably a very bad dad of me to let a 7-year-old watch that. But outside of that first minute, it's kind of not anything worse than Iron Man like finger blasting people in the face with his plasma stuff.
That one guy gets plasma sorted through his. Yeah.
Max did turn to me for that one too, and was just like, Dad, do I gotta turn this off? He actually reached for the remote once and was like, okay, but then he set it back down. I'm like, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So my wife was like, are you gonna let him keep watching that? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't expecting that. Paramount Plus? Like, come on, that's fucking just made for TV shit.
Yellowstone, though.
I don't know that. I don't know that.
Oh boy, yeah.
Anyway, sorry, not to derail that, but well, that was good.
It was fine.
It was fine. And I'm happy with that.
They took the helmet. He took his helmet off.
Right. I like that actor. He was the asshole in Orange is the New Black. He was the warden with the stash. They called him Porn Stash. He's pretty great. Ashley was upstairs. She came downstairs. She seen Spartan with his helmet off, and I was just like, the video games have never done that on the TV right there.
Yep. Right.
I was like, I think I haven't played all the Halos. I hear you see the back of his head at one point, and that's it. So that was a big deal.
In Halo 5, at the very end, he takes the helmet off, and you see like his brow.
How does that
Like you
look?
don't quite see his eyes. But,
Why
like
would
you
they do
see like
that?
it's just like you just barely see. You don't see his face, so you can't see anything. But you just see like his brow. It's yeah.
And what a weird
That's
thing. Like a
yeah. And then like in Halo 1, I think when he gets on the Pelican, he takes the helmet off, and like as he's doing it, it like pans away.
That's great.
Yeah, like that's like the legendary ending. Uh,
Um
yeah, yeah,
so the plot of this show so far seems like some shit happened. They were a witness to it. Uh Everyone died but this one person.
yep.
So takes this person on board. They fly off, going back to the UNSC. Correct me if I get any of this plot detail wrong. On the way, they're like, hey, we know who this person is, and you need to kill this person.
Yep.
And at that point, I skipped ahead a little bit. Mr. Master Chief starts talking to this person, forms a little bit of connection with him, even though turns out, spoilers, he killed the mom of said person. What's the name?
Quan.
Quan. Yes, Quan.
So before this happens, he touches like a Covenant
Oh,
relic
thank you. Yes,
and,
yes,
and
right.
sees like flashbacks, and so
Yes.
he's kind of having a little moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're already trying to humanize him, which the games
Yep.
have barely done at all. So,
Correct.
so all that happened. He gets the order to kill this person. He stands up, turns to the camera, and she's just like, "So what's gonna happen?" And he's like, "The plans are still forming," or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
just like, "Oh
Doesn't- yeah.
shit, he's not gonna do it. He's not gonna
Yep.
do it."
Yep.
So they have control of his ship. They take all the oxygen out, which he notices that she goes down first. And then, he's like, oh, okay. And they drop the oxygen in his thing as well. He explains to her why it's her, right? I hope so. Anyway, he explains to her, like, he needs his helmet to survive because it's got everything he needs is like in this helmet. And some stuff happens. He pulls his helmet off. Like,
Yep,
he
takes
saves the
helmet off.
day. I mean, just a lot of typical stuff, nothing crazy.
A little crazy. He's kind of a fugitive right now, which is
Yeah,
a little weird.
the helmet coming off was the crazy part.
Right. Yeah.
But and like you say that, but I don't know the story of Halo. I don't know.
This is not. No.
Okay.
No, I've read the first Fall of Reach, First Strike. I've read the first 3 or 4 books that they released, like around Halo 1, Halo 2 time frame. And like that planet where the military stuff is Reach.
Yes.
It's just a military planet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not. No, this is all new.
This isn't following any certain story.
No, this is blazing its own path. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's got a lot of the same characters. There was a line in there. There was Commander Keyes, the big black guy. Miranda Keyes is in there. Dr. Halsey is in there.
Mm-hmm.
She's basically the creator of the Spartan program. It's alluded to that Halsey and Keyes were together at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Miranda, Halsey is Miranda's mom. I don't think that's part of the canon.
I don't know.
I remember, but it's been 15, 20 years since I read this book. So maybe I'm misremembering that, but I thought, oh, okay, that's fine. This is a TV show. We need drama. Whatever. Of course. They said the word Cortana.
Yes.
This is a program, and the mean lady in charge was like, no, Halsey, you can't do that.
Oh, so, when he got shot at, and then he rests behind a corner, and you hear his shield.
I love. Okay, so the things that I like, they use the noises, the sounds. They used when the shield comes back up, it made the sound it makes in Halo. When the elite used the camouflage, it made the sound of when you run over the camouflage. They did about 3 total seconds of first person, the last 20 minutes of Doom, the Rock movie. of like first person. This is what real life Halo looks like, of
If
like a
they
first person
sprinkle that
perspective.
in from time to time, that's
It
fine.
was it was very quick. It was just
Don't
little
please
cuts.
don't ever rely on that because it
Nope.
looks
Yep.
weird.
Yep.
But
It looked very weird, and I was like, oh, don't do this too much.
yeah,
And I felt like the Spartans coming in was like, all right, like badass. They just drop down.
mm-hmm,
They're just like fucking shit up. Um, it could have been worse,
mm-hmm,
and I think it was just okay.
yeah.
And we'll see what they're gonna do with it from here.
I'm happy with okay. I'm
Yeah,
happy with that. Like it could have been. I'm glad it wasn't shit. And I think he himself, he looks great.
he does.
I think I
Yes.
think I think his whole armor setup looks really menacing, especially like in the dark when she's looking up at him. It's just like, man, he's really fucking intense.
Yeah.
And I like
Yeah.
his
And there's
voice. I think
yes.
he's got a good voice. It's not the voice, but
It's a little jarring at the beginning,
yeah.
but like by the end of the episode, I was like, okay,
I feel
okay,
it.
this is okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they've done some live action Halo stuff before. That Forward Unto Dawn little mini series they did
So my
was
neighbor was
okay.
telling me about that. Is that good?
It's fine.
Okay.
Fine. It does a really good job too of like really playing up like fucking the Spartans.
Mm.
Just like how much bigger they are and how much, you know, just all that stuff. Um yeah, I'm interested. I'm on board.
Yeah, I'll
Let's see
keep
where it goes
watching.
from here. Yeah, it wasn't that
I may
bad.
screen the next episode before Max watches it
Yeah,
because
yeah,
we
yeah.
just went in blind and I
Yeah.
just was not expecting that. But
Well, I'm sure they blew a lot of their budget on this first episode,
yeah,
so these next
right.
like 3 episodes will be like story
Story.
building,
Yep.
and then the last two will be huge.
Mm.
Be some battle of the bastard shit,
I think
and
it's
then
8 episodes.
okay.
Yeah.
Did they release them all today, or is it gonna be like every
One a
week?
week.
Ah,
Yeah.
fuck. Okay.
So the last episode is like May 17th or something because I looked that up. I was like, oh, are we getting more than one? But it was
Right.
57 minutes. It was an hour, just
It was.
I wasn't expecting that. I thought it was going to be like a shorter, like 42, like how they will do an hour with commercials. But
Right.
um,
Right. It's
I
fine.
I was happy with it. So yeah,
Yeah.
freaking Halo, man, dude.
Mr. Chief.
Here in a few months, we're supposed to get that online co-op. I'll gladly
Dude.
play through some
Yes.
Halo Infinite again. That was a good
Yes.
time. And by that
Absolutely.
point, they'll probably have like new stuff out that we'll be able to kind of tinker with. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. For sure.
what else? What else you got?
Man, that's all that I've got. I'm just gonna try to keep get through Cytonic before Hunger of the Gods comes out, and maybe getting back into some games here. In the next couple weeks.
Where did you leave off with Elden Ring?
I I I went up, so I beat Godric.
Okay.
Godric?
Yeah.
I beat Godric. And I'm like in the swamp, and then I got to the swamp, and I like just was like nope, and just turned around and went back the other way. And I was clearing all that stuff out, and I think
Yeah.
I've pretty much cleared out all of it, except for some of that like southeastern area where the woods with the big bears are. I wanted to go down there and explore. There's a couple quests down there that I wanted to do, and then I'm probably high enough level I can start heading back up toward the
Mhm.
swamp in that academy area. Yeah,
That academy area is fun.
yeah.
Uh,
Burger Kings.
I'm loving the memes of all the Burger Kings. It's so funny because gosh, they look just like them, just like they're just hiding next to the corner just to throw magic at your ass,
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and there are some. I'll have some games to play next by the time we record again. We will definitely be getting Kirby. It has co-op, so me and my son will definitely be playing that. I may pick up Borderlands. I'm gonna do a how long to beat and see how long that game is. Ghostwire Tokyo. I don't think there's anything there for me. I'm actually, since we're just talking about some stuff coming up, I'm looking at like the next 2 weeks, which we tend to cover on this show. Crusader Kings 3 is coming to Game Pass. Lost Judgment is having a DLC. The only other things that really stick out on this list is Weird West. I've heard a lot
Okay.
about that game that is coming to Game Pass on the 31st. And then that Chrono Cross remake. I've never been a Chrono Cross fan. I've tried to play that game a couple times. It's just not been
Really?
the thing for me.
Seems like that would be your shit.
It's different though. Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross are like they're just so different from each other.
Okay. Okay.
And then Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, which my son would probably really get into that, but he'll have Kirby to play, so that's really it for big releases. That's the stuff that's coming out for the next 2 weeks, which I'm pretty happy with because I've got like more than enough to play.
Yeah.
I'm gonna skip over this one right now. As we've been talking about Elden Ring, it's sold 12 million copies. That is just bananas to me. I would not expect that. I think Elden Ring is hitting an audience that From Software has never been able to tap into.
Yeah. It is broken through.
It is mainstream now. And
Yep.
I haven't verified this, and I'm sure the number has went up, but the amount of people that has beaten the first boss that I'm blanking on the name that we struggled with so hard. Margit, thank you.
Yeah.
Is like 70%.
Wow. That's kind of surprising.
I know. That's a big majority of people that
So
have got that has received that achievement for beating him.
So I just went to Steam's concurrent players right now, and this is the first time I've ever seen this happen. There are more Elden Ring is the most played game right this minute.
Wow.
382,000 people are playing it right now. That's more than Counter-Strike. I've never seen a game played more than Counter-Strike.
Dethroned Counter-Strike.
Very rarely. And that Elden Ring's been out for fucking weeks. Yeah.
Wow.
That's kind of bananas.
I mean, it's getting more mainstream now, which I'm so happy for them because it's a phenomenal game. It really is. And they've already came out and said, like, this is a world, we're going to build on it. There'll be an Elden Ring 2, 4 or 5 years down the road. So,
wow.
Doesn't really shock me. Rich, The Witcher 4 is a thing.
Oh boy.
And is real. And it's happening.
And
it's Unreal now.
Yeah, it's Unreal. It's not the Red Engine. I think they did come out and say that they didn't necessarily want to refer to it as The Witcher 4.
Okay.
But it is going to be a basically the fourth Witcher from CD Projekt. So they kind of released this little picture of a
so what this is?
What they confirmed of as a Lynx with the basic Lynx medallion.
Yes, here.
That is like the Geralt's School of the Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Lynx School, which is actually a new school. I don't think it's present in the books at all. So they might be looking to kind of start a new story, like away from the books.
Wow.
And away from Geralt. So that's interesting.
I mean, that world has so much that they can tap into, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But it's still gonna be a Witcher.
Correct. Oh yeah, it has to be. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. This article you linked to, I think might have been one of the early ones because they did come back out and because everybody was like, oh, is that the School of Cat? Because School of Cat is a thing. But they were like, no, it's actually Lynx, and this is a new one, and we're gonna kind of build on it and whatever.
Okay.
So there's some like obviously speculation about like is Ciri gonna be in this deal? Is this gonna be like a prequel? You know, what's it going to be?
I would be less interested in a prequel, I think.
I don't know. I think whatever they do, I'll be interested in. That's
sure.
a good world. It's a good. there's some good stuff to pull from there, and they've proven they can make a good one of those games. So I'll be interested regardless of whatever Witcher thing they're making is. Um, I don't know. Yeah, so it exists. It's probably 5, 6, 7 years away. So who knows? I could be 40 years old when that game comes out. Michael?
Oh, shut up, dude. God. Oh, hell. I mean, they have some cyberpunk shit they need to work on, you know?
Oh, shit. Yeah. Oh, shit.
Like, they've
Yeah.
yet to release a piece of DLC for that game that's been out for a year and a half now. A year and change, so.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, you're probably right. This is 4 or 5 years out.
Yeah. I mean, this article you linked to is terrible.
Oh, I know.
It's like the image itself is a glowing wolf necklace. It's not a wolf
Digital
necklace.
Trends? Look at this. What is like? What is this?
This is I don't know.
Is this Witcher 2?
Yes, that's Witcher 2 or Witcher 1.
Yeah, I don't know.
Might be Witcher 1 actually.
Good job, Digital Trends.
Yeah, way to get them clicks.
And this was today at 5:41 a.m.
Oh boy, they missed the boat because the link stuff hit like a day yesterday, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You want to talk about some Batman?
Oh boy.
Or is this it? Is this all we got? Anything else you want to talk about?
I got nothing else.
All right. Let's talk about some Batman.
Let's talk about Batman.
Last time we wanted to cover this in the last episode, and damn it, about 30 seconds into it, my internet crapped out. So had to cut that short. But yeah, let's get into some Batman. So went to a movie. I don't know what that was. Went to a movie and seen Batman and enjoyed myself. Thought it was a fine movie. I think a Letterboxd gave it a 4, which I say is good. I kind of just do like bad, not so bad, okay, good, great, whatever. It's kind of how I rate everything. And I thought it was good. You know, I wasn't blown away. I don't think it was doing anything super crazy. I had problems with it. I thought the fighting didn't really stick out to me that much. Even that last fight there, like when he was suspended and all the shit was crumbling around him, I was just kind of like, you know, I'm not really feeling this. There's not a lot of good Batman fight scenes anyway. I think the Bane one sticks out a lot, where he gets his back broke. But you know, I think it opened with a pretty cool little fight, with all the gang people from the subway. I thought that was cool. But you know, like after that, it was kind of very much a mystery, solving about the Riddler, and I liked that they included the mob family, the Falcons.
Yes.
You haven't really explored that outside of the cartoons or the comics. You know, they may get mentioned in the movies, but you don't know really much about them at all. So like spending some time with the Penguin, which was Colin Farrell, and holy shit, they did a banger of a job making him not look like Colin Farrell at all. Wow, that was some incredible makeup that they did.
Yeah.
It was
this Doubtfire level shit.
Unreal. Really good job. The chase scene with him, you know, was
that's really good.
That was really good. It was. But you know, I didn't care for the Riddler as much as I thought I would.
Okay.
That whole aspect, I thought Catwoman was great. I thought the Penguin was great. I thought Gordon was awesome. I loved like them working together was cool. The actual Riddler though, I just the way that he would like kill people, and I don't know, it was just that never hooked me. That was the weak point, like the Batman fight scenes and the villain himself. I try not to compare him to all the other great Batman villains out there, but to me, it was a weak link. In
Mm,
that, I thought the world was beautiful. It was very dark. That was a dark ass Gotham.
yeah, that it is not a kids movie. No.
No, no. There's not many Batman movies. I say that as I just let let my son Master Chief blow up bodies.
Yeah.
Uh, there's not out. The Dark Knight is still just it's a little too real, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but I thought the movie was good. I'm excited for a sequel if they go that route. Probably will. I guess we'll see. But I thought it was okay. What were your overall thoughts?
So I've had some time to kind of think about it a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
since we didn't get to talk about it last or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Um, I th- I think it might be my favorite Batman movie.
I love
Uh,
that we always have like not always, but we often have a lot of different opinions. So
yeah, I really liked Batman Begins. I think it's
yeah,
such a. I mean, The Dark Knight is The Dark Knight. I mean, it's a great movie with very great
yeah,
acting,
yes,
great cinematography. Like that was an experience,
mm-hmm.
like going and seeing that movie, and nothing can really change that. Uh, I felt like I always really liked Batman Begins. Um,
I had problems with fighting in that movie. I swear, Rich.
why really?
I swear, what would happen is Batman would rear back and he would
Yeah,
punch, and the camera would cut like 3 times. It'd be like bloop, bloop, bloop. And
yeah,
it was just
yeah,
like so jarring. And I had a hard time with that one.
yeah,
Ra's al
yeah.
Ghul and uh the
That
what is the master's name? Oh my gosh, the guy that trains him.
Ra's al Ghul is the
Oh, then I'm thinking of
yeah.
the oh my gosh, who's the villain in that movie that throws the
Well,
shit?
it's Ra's. Oh, Scarecrow.
Yeah, Scarecrow. Yeah, so Ra's
Cillian
al
Murphy.
Ghul
Yeah,
and Scarecrow was excellent, but yeah, the fighting in that movie I had problems with. Didn't mean to cut you off.
yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah. No, so I put it right there. It's right there with Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Um, it's definitely not the same type of movie
No.
though. Um, it reminded me a lot of Seven. If you've never seen
No.
what,
No, I've never seen Seven.
Michael, you've never seen Seven?
No.
Brad Pitt,
Nope. Do
Morgan
I need
Freeman.
to watch Seven?
Okay, wait. So when I say what's in the box, that means nothing to you.
No.
You need to go watch Seven.
What's in the
You-
box does kind of mean something to me, but it's a fucking Saturday Night Live skit and not probably what you're talking about.
You don't, well, no, it comes from that. You don't know the source material. That's not where it comes from, you motherfucker. God damn it. Go watch Seven.
All right.
So Seven is a detective thriller from the 90s
Okay.
with Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, fucking and Kevin Spacey, like
Mm.
creepy fucking Kevin Spacey.
Always creepy.
Yeah, that turns out. Yeah. Um but no, yeah, this like you said, this Batman is very much like almost like a detective movie.
Mm.
He's a detective. It's very dark, very like most of this movie takes place when it's dark. A lot of a lot of the cinematography, uh it especially the way that movie starts, where you have like this mayor elect who's like in his like
Yeah.
upper suite, and it like pans into like his fancy like sky rise, like he's in his like penthouse suite or whatever, and he's like completely dark. He's just got this TV, and then it kind of pans back and looking back at him like toward like the street level of like his windows, and then you see like the Riddler's glasses,
Mm-hmm.
just barely, just enough light so you could just see his glasses. And I was just like,
Oh,
man,
that's creepy.
that's a good fucking shot. And
Yep.
it was creepy for a minute. And you're
Oh
like,
yeah.
oh man, this is kind of fucked up.
You see him like
Um,
looking at the results of the
yep,
election, and he's
yep,
just that's fucking creepy.
yep. So it like set us. That was the
Yeah.
first kind of full scene of the movie, and it really sets that tone, and it kind of holds it. But I think the thing that really grabbed me about this movie is it's the Long Halloween. I mean, it is
Yes. Yep.
it is as much the Long Halloween, the comic,
Yep.
the graphic novel without just. I mean, okay, so it's not the Long Halloween beat
No.
for beat, but it's as close as you could get
Right.
without being the Long Halloween beat for beat.
If there's one that they can compare it to, it's the Long Halloween.
Yes, yes, which was fucking perfect choice in my opinion because that's a
Mm-hmm.
great fucking graphic novel.
Yep.
Go listen to whatever episode of this show that
Yeah.
we talked about that for a couple weeks. But man, yeah, like just I really liked Robert Pattinson as Batman.
I did too.
I liked the whole vibe. Catwoman was great. Andy, is it Andy Serkis? Is that his name?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, Alfred. He was kind of a low point.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of a rough sell as him being him being Alfred.
Yeah,
There
I
wasn't as
wasn't.
much chemistry there.
There you go. Yes.
Michael
Like they.
Caine and
I know.
Christian Bale had this
Yeah.
chemistry, and they just didn't have it. They just didn't sell it. But
Yeah,
but
they
I think
wanted you to sympathize with him when they put him in the hospital and stuff, and it's just like
yeah,
I don't have a relationship with him that I care for quite yet.
right,
Like
right,
I like him as a person, but not this actor playing as him right now. Like I haven't
yeah,
built enough on-screen time to care for this serious moment. Is how I felt.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But man, there is just the way that movie was shot and just the overall cinematography of that movie is just on a different level.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, as that fight scene you were talking about at the very end, where he's kind of suspended and he kind of beats that last guy down, and Batman asks him like, "Who are you?" And he looks up at him. He's like, "I am vengeance."
Mm-hmm.
And he says the same thing to Batman that Batman says in the very beginning of the movie, and it's just like, oh, he has this like, and then Batman has this realization like, oh fuck, like I'm going about this the wrong way,
Right.
and then he kind of jumps on the power line and does the whole thing and drops down and saves the new mayor lady. And there's like this scene of Batman with like a flare, and he's like leading these people out.
Right.
That
Because
was
it
just like,
flooded. Yeah.
yeah, it had flooded, and it's just like, whoa, that was there was some very like, not to get too Christian, but like some very like biblical, like, oh, here is like him leading them like to
Yeah.
the light kind of thing, like very. I don't know, man. I really like that fucking movie. That movie was really fucking good. There's a really good Nirvana song in there a
Yep.
couple times, like for that it just lets it go. It plays that
Mm-hmm.
whole fucking song and just
Oh,
lets it go.
just
It's like,
all
oh,
the time.
it's the perfect fucking song.
Yep. You just hear that
Man,
guitar, and you're just like
yeah.
throughout that whole
It's like,
movie.
ah, shit, fucking
Yep.
Kurt Cobain, motherfucker. Like, damn. I don't know. I really liked it. It's definitely very different from the Dark Knight, Christopher Nolan's trilogy. But I really like the character arc of, okay, here's Bruce Wayne. He's not a playboy in this movie. He's not his parents kind of have a dirty past in this movie. Um, and by the end of it, he has this like really big arc.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the traditional. Oh, it's Bruce Wayne. He's a dickhead, and he figures that out, and whatever. Like I don't know. It was a different arc, and it was a different way to do that. Because every time we restart one of these, we got to tell the whole story over again. I don't know. There was especially the beginning of the movie, when Batman is kind of doing the voiceover, and it's Halloween. This takes place during
Mm-hmm.
Halloween, And I was like, oh boy, here we go. Yeah, I'm on board. He's giving this voiceover, and he's like, people are afraid, and you see the bat signal go up, and then all these like bad guys start looking around, and they start looking in the shadows, of all the alleys and stuff,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, is he there? Is he there? And like everybody thinks he's there, and it's like
Yeah.
he's always there, and that was a good, like, I feel like they really sold that part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you said you went and saw it with a friend and you guys were laughing about something.
Yeah, so right. So we did some drinking before this movie, and about 10 minutes into the movie, um there's a murder, and Batman is working with Gordon, he kind of sneaks him in there, and they talk about that they have to go to this place. And Gordon makes this comment where he says, we'll never get in there without a warrant. So my drunk buddy and we were just like, that is so fucking funny that like somebody's not gonna let a fucking Batman in unless he has a warrant.
Right.
So throughout the movie, anytime Batman would like bust through somebody's window or something, which happens a lot, like my friend would just lean over and just be like, I've got a warrant. Like,
yeah,
he just has to announce that, every time he does a crime or something.
Right.
And it was like the perfect shot. We talked about the chase scene, and like Penguin's car ends up flipped upside down, and Batman does this. It was kind of funny actually. He kind of does this like slow like look into the window. Yep. And he's in, and so I just lean over. I'm just like, I've got a warrant, and I'm gonna beat your ass. It just didn't help, like being a little drunk going to that movie, because it just turned into a comedy at that point. But no, it was a good Batman.
Yeah.
It wasn't my favorite.
I really enjoyed it. I really did. I'm excited to see what they do from here. They kind of teased a little Joker stuff, which is going to be difficult with both, the Dark Knight and the Joker movie. I don't know. We'll see what they do.
It's weird, like, because that whole universe is kind of like Michael Keaton is playing Batman, and apparently Ben Affleck is also going to play Batman in the Flash movie.
They need to stop doing that.
So I think they're doing I think they're doing a thing kind of like they did with No Way Home, where, because if you know the Flash ends up like fucking playing with time travel. And so I think they're gonna do something like that, which has been announced. That stuff's been announced before No Way Home. So like we already kind of knew that was happening. The casting was already confirmed. But yeah, they're kind of playing with that stuff, which that Barry Corgan or whatever his name that they're gonna have play the Joker, I think I like him.
Yeah.
And he looks creepy. I did watch that scene you sent me that just released today, like that deleted scene, where you get like a good look of his face.
Right.
Because there's a scene when the movie is when the Batman is over, and you see that there's already a relationship between Batman and the Joker. The Joker is already an established character in this world, and you get to hear the laugh a little bit.
Yeah.
But it is going to be hard to compare him to like a Joaquin Phoenix, or the oh gosh, I'm blanking on his name. The
Heath Ledger.
The Heath Ledger one. To me, that's just it's hard to say there's a better Batman than that, and I think you nailed it when you said the cinematography of that movie is so good. And I'll just never forget that scene where it is the party scene where he goes up and he snatches her by the face, and the camera is just like kind of quickly panning around him. And I fell into the trap of like looking up some stuff about that movie, and it's hard to know like what is real and what is like fake. And apparently, this is what I read, so take this with a grain of salt because I read it from the internet. That was the first time that they seen Heath Ledger in full makeup, And so that scene that made the movie was their legit reaction. And when
Right.
he grabs her in the face, he like is applying pressure to make the scene more dramatic. And she is that is her legit terrified face. Not that she thought that he was going to hurt her, but it's just like he looks fucked up. This is the first time I got to see him, and he's like acting a little too hard in this scene, but it just
Right.
led to the tension of it. Is that true?
Yeah.
I have no fucking clue, but if it is, that's very interesting. That happened because my God, that's a hell of a film, and I can't wait to watch that when my kids are old enough. So,
Yes.
um, yeah, I am interested in the Batman. I'm interested in what the hell they're doing with the whole DC stuff. Like I like those characters. They're just so scattershot right now, and I maybe they don't want what Marvel is doing because they're all kind of like building their own little bubble. Like even Shazam has kind of built a whole little superhero, of
Right.
Shazam characters because the movie had like 4 or 5 superheroes in it. Um so I don't know. But
Yeah. I mean, I really liked it. I that stuff does kind of mess with me, where it's like, oh, today Ben Affleck's Batman, and then today it's
yeah.
Robert Pattinson, and tomorrow it's Michael Keaton,
Yeah.
and it's like, no, let's just have some continuity for a little while.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know.
And it's like, okay, that Wonder Woman 1984, it didn't do so well. So is she
Right.
what are you going to do with her? Like will she continue to be in the universe? Because I think I talked to you about this in the last episode, but spoilers for the Peacemaker show, which was great. The Aquaman and the Flash are in it. And it is the Aquaman that we know and the
Right.
Flash
Right.
from the Justice League movies. That is getting his own movie this year or next year or something. So it's them, but it's only them. You don't see Batman, you don't have Wonder Woman, you don't have the Martian Manhunter, you don't have any of those characters. So it's just like, well, what are they doing? I don't know. It's strange. It's like I
Yeah.
want more, but they don't. I don't really know. It's funky.
They tried to do more, and it was very good.
That's true. Yeah. Did you watch the 4 hour Justice League? You did,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay,
We
we
did. We
talked
talked
about it.
about it on
Yeah,
this.
right,
Yeah,
right,
we talked
right.
about it on the show. The fucking thing was terrible.
Yeah, it was pretty
I
bad.
don't remember what I said about it then, but it was bad.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, I remember you loved it, man. I don't know. Strange.
Yeah.
Like it's best superhero movie ever.
So, I
Oh,
know you didn't like. I know you didn't like the Riddler. Um, but I really like Paul Dano, the Riddler actor.
what do you know him from?
Okay. So you have homework. You need to go watch Seven.
Is he
Okay.
in 7 too?
No, 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 no.
Oh, okay.
But before you go watch Seven,
All right.
you need to go watch a movie called Prisoners. And I think I brought this up before.
I don't know, man.
You need to go watch Prisoners. Okay, it has Hugh Jackman. It has Jake Gyllenhaal.
Uh-huh.
Paul
Viola
Dano.
Davis. Oh, she's big in DC.
Yeah, Viola Davis.
And Paul Dano.
Paul Dano is in that movie. You need to go watch that movie.
All right, it's on Amazon Prime and Hulu.
Yeah, that is one of the better, like, more underrated movies of the last 10, 15 years.
Okay.
It is. It's kind of fun. It's kind of like Ben Affleck in Gone Girl when he's like training to be Batman and he's this giant man.
Okay.
Hugh Jackman is this giant Wolverine man trying to play like a normal guy in like a normal movie.
Yeah, don't you love that?
But oh boy, it is Prisoners. You need to watch Prisoners.
Okay.
It is. Ooh.
So this is what you
I-
know Paul Dano from.
This is when I think Paul Dano, this is what I think.
Because
Yeah.
I felt like I heard a lot of people excited about this character Paul Dano, and I'm just like I don't really know. I don't think I've seen anything with him in it.
Yeah, let me see what else he's been in.
Paul Dano's IMDb. He
Yeah,
is
I'm
known
looking through it through
for
here.
There Will
He
Be
was in
Blood.
Looper.
I did watch Looper. I don't remember him in that though.
12 Years a Slave. Prisoners. Prisoners is it, man.
And Little Miss Sunshine, which I did watch that movie. Oh, was he the? I bet he was her brother. Little Miss Sunshine was great, but God,
Yeah.
2006. You know, it's really sad. That's almost 20 years ago.
Oh my God.
That's so fucking. Time is such a fucker.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody at work the other day, and I was like, "Oh, this was done in 2004. That wasn't that long ago." And they're like, that was almost 20 years ago." I'm like, "Okay,
Dude,
okay,
remember
you're right."
Y2K? Dude, I was up. Like, I was freaked. I was terrified of Y2K, by the way.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Little 13-year-old with a big Squirtle plushie just sitting on my couch, just like midnight, like waiting, not understanding that the world doesn't revolve around Eastern Standard Time.
I'm just sitting over there restarting Windows 98 every
Yeah,
5 seconds.
right,
Like,
yeah.
is this gonna work or not? Is it
Yeah.
gonna work? What a
Yeah.
stupid thing.
I know, but it's just like, in my dumb mind, I'm like, everything revolves around Eastern Standard Time, you know? So midnight my time, everything's gonna fucking break down.
Yeah.
So it's me and my
Prisoners.
It's me and my
Go
sister.
watch Prisoners.
All right, Prisoners, and then what was the other one? I need to watch 7.
Yeah, so Prisoners was either written or directed by Denis Villeneuve, the Dune guy. So.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Fantastic movie.
All right,
It's gotten Rotten Tomatoes.
80.
Really?
Which is good. 80 or 81. All right.
God, this website is terrible.
Which one? Rotten Tomatoes?
Rotten Tomatoes, yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
81, 80, okay.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Take it. All right. Is that it?
That's it.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for for watching, for listening, for streaming this. We do this podcast on a bi-weekly basis that you can find on bitpunch.tech. If you want to send us an email, you can at emails@bitpunch.tech. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at BitPunch and follow us on Twitch at BitPunch. We have been streaming a whole lot lately, but I'm sure we'll get back to that when our lives calm down a little bit. You can find all of our archive streams on our YouTube page at /user/BitPunch. You can check out our newsletter at bitpunch.substack.com. All of these links can be found on our website at bitpunch.tech. And that's going to do it for us tonight. I'm going to be continuing being tarnished, getting through Elden Ring, and we'll see. I'll probably play some Kirby, so we'll be able to talk about that on the next episode. And hopefully I'll be done with Kings of the Wild, which I'm still thoroughly enjoying, but think it may be going a little too long. The D&D aspect of it is kind of like, okay, it's funny, but I feel like it's running out of gas, and I still have about 150 pages left, so we'll see.
Oof.
Yeah. I think it's fantastic, but I just think that like the shtick of it, maybe it doesn't need to linger as much. We'll see if it changes pace a little bit, but then I'll get to the Shadow of the Gods and get back to Tunic, and I need to buy the Brandon Sanderson Kickstarter. I still have yet to do that. Don't quite know which one I'm gonna land on yet, but we'll see. I don't want stuff, so it'll probably be the $60 version. But
there's gonna be a slug.
I know.
Card playing set or playing card.
You know,
set
it was. Yeah, I didn't even care about any of that until you told me that, and then I'm like, well, fuck.
Fuck. That's what I said.
But you can ad hoc add stuff. I did see that.
I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Fuck. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's gonna do it. Thank you, Rich.
Thank you.
And we will be back in a couple weeks. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.